All right. All right, honey dolls and gents. Welcome back. It is the DMV Weave Doctor located right here in Bowie, Maryland. And honey dolls and gents, child, the Weave Doctor, we're going to be starting doing more fun discussions. And I have just been receiving so much love for my reaction videos that child, y'all have inspired the Weave Doctor. Okay. So from now on, we're going to be doing more of those on our Facebook. Before we were just offering those reaction videos on Instagram. Okay, we were not really doing them on Facebook and YouTube. And so I'm going to be starting to do that more, and also on my TikTok. So the Weave Doctor is going to be doing big things in 2023. Okay. But today, and we hope you guys are having a wonderful and fabulous afternoon. So today, and the reason why, and I know that this discussion, I never got to weigh in on this discussion, but most recently, because now I've been finding out new content for the channel, and I found out that there was a new SUKHIANNA. Now, I don't know, for all those who know, SUKHIANNA is a rapper. She's a very explicit rapper, okay? A lot of people in the religious sector may call her a Jezebel. She may have a Jezebel spirit, okay? Okay, this is my little fast talking little quote unquote hoochie or hoochie mama. But she does speak her mind. A lot of people like her for that. So anyway, she and most recently she was caught cutting up. I think it was in Paris or London. This is one very vulgar chick. So anyways, she was on doing an interview with some famous interviewer online. And child, why they keep rehashing up this Jada Pinkett and Will Smith a mess in this Chris Rock. I don't know why they keep resurfacing this. But it give the Weave Doctor some more stuff to talk about. Okay. Okay. So anyways, they were talking about, what would you do? Pretty much, don't you feel bad for Chris Rock? And how do you think Chris Rock felt in that situation? And I know a lot of people actually was running to Chris Rock's aid. However, a lot of people, and now there were some in the alopecia realm, because the Weave Doctor likes to promote black hairstyles and black culture, especially for women who deal with alopecia and who are African American. So while they were on this discussion panel, and I never knew that SUKHIANNA actually suffered from alopecia, and I think those who may have a more tender spot for that, or knew someone who had medical induced alopecia. Now, when I say that, that means that they actually, their family member might have dealt with cancer, lupus, or some type of, and a lot of times, and this is the reason why I think Jada Pinkett got so upset, because she actually, now a lot of people didn't even realize this. Jada Pinkett had an actual scar on her head, and the Weave Doctor deals with a lot. I have seen hundreds, probably maybe even thousands of heads of different people that I have worked on. And the thing about Jada Pinkett, I know she had a quote unquote alopecia and hair thinning, but she specifically had a gouge or a big scar in her head. Okay. So this was not just, and a lot of times when they have then it's called like a medical scar, just kind of almost like, some of y'all get y'all BBLs trying to get snatched, okay? And trying to put some waist beads and tattoos around it, trying to do a tummy tuck, okay? So she had a very similar scar in her scalp, so I think this was just beyond thinning hair and alopecia, or what they call like the regular, aging alopecia. This probably was a medical induced alopecia. And that's why I think that Will Smith just hauled off and smacked the poo-poo out of him. Okay. Child, he had to bring it back to his old Philly days. Okay. Shooting out, maxing out. Child, I can't even remember the rap. It's been so old. But so they were talking about that on the panel. So a lot of people didn't realize that Jada Pinkett Smith, she actually had, like a medical scar. So I don't know. I guess we just have to keep praying for people. I did not know that, generally when they have that scar, they might have had some type of brain surgery. They had to maybe she might have been dealing with a tumor or some different thing like that. So, anyways, whatever the case was, honey, child, the weed doctor seen that scar, and I knew that something was not right. This was not the regular androgenetic alopecia that some of you guys may be getting from your grandmama or your mama or whoever you want to blame it on. Okay. But anyways, so they had resurfaced this talk all the way back up again. And on the now I actually thought it was funny. The rapper Sukhianna, she was talking about, he better be lucky. That's all he got was a smack. And she actually she said she wished she was Jada Pinkett because she want her man to stand up for her like that. I know that's right, and I kind of feel the same way. Okay, don't be letting me get talked down in public, especially over my appearance, and you just sit back there and don't do nothing. Okay, now I'm not trying to promote violence, so I'm not saying that you should be calling off and smacking people in public, even though it was funny. Okay, but anyway, Sukhianna was saying that and again, I never knew that she had alopecia, but she was just talking about the embarrassment and the psychological effects of having alopecia. And I know a lot of people don't even talk about that. And that's another reason why I was mad at Chris Rock. Okay. Because number one, alopecia especially is very prominent in the African American community. Child, we got an alopecia just made specifically for us, the CCCA alopecia. So the centrifugal cicatricial alopecia. Okay, child, I'm about to get tongue-tied saying all that. But with all that being said, with that specific alopecia, child, and that's why the wig doctor tried to promote healthy hair care, healthy different wigs and things like that. So anyways, with that, they call it the hot comb alopecia. With that form of alopecia, it comes from excessive pulling, relaxers, doing hot combs. They even had a name called it the hot comb alopecia. Okay. And so with this, it's just all that grease. Other cultures, honey, they not frying their roots out trying to fry their naps out to look straight. Okay. I worked and I know because I worked in the Caucasian salon. Okay, I even worked in the Ethiopian salon, even though that one is a black salon, but it's still the culture is a little bit different, especially with some of the products that they're using. So, the things that African Americans do to their hair, even the roller sets, the flat twists, even when we were getting just all the different type of styles, the Bantu knots, all these different type of things. It's a lot of stress on the hair follicles. Okay. So, child, that's why a lot of us were so mad at that daggone Chris Rock with his funny looking self. Okay. And so, so anyways, what Sukhianna was saying, she experienced a lot of embarrassment. And they actually have a poll out there right now, because the weed doctor is a trichologist also and a former cosmetology instructor. And I'm a cosmetologist right now. And I also practice a holistic practitioner. So I like to, I'm very big into nutrition and health. So anyways, with all that being said, child, the weed doctor's trying to go down my accolades. I don't forget what I'm about to say. But, pretty much she was just talking about the effects that alopecia can have on your overall self-esteem. And they have studies about it, and that's why a lot of people, they are getting medical wigs through their insurance provider. That's why the weed doctor started offering insurance wigs. So those who are dealing with alopecia, now not everybody's insurance can accept going to create them a cranial prosthesis. Okay, so that's something to look into, child. If you on that Skid Row insurance, okay. If you on the Ghetto Fabulous insurance, then you may not be able to apply for this. But but anyways. The reason why they're doing that because it actually affects your mental state for those who are dealing with alopecia. And I remember when I was taking my trichology course, they were talking about how it can affect you from pretty much you can have depression. You just feel, child, you just be sad. Maybe somebody be walking around with some bundles, not bundles. Maybe somebody be walking around just coming from the Dominical hair salon with that nice big bouncy roller set. And then you just remembering going back down memory lane when you had all this hair. Now you ain't got no hair now. Okay. So it's probably a lot of different triggering things that can, cause someone, to feel sad about not having hair. Also, we learned it can cause anxiety. Okay. Also, it can make them feel less attractive to their loved ones. I mean, especially like their spouse or the husband or anybody else. So these are just some things to look into, and the next time that you think is funny laughing at somebody that got alopecia, or even being too nosy, wonder why maybe even African Americans or black women wear wigs all the time. I even had a Caucasian Uber driver ask me, she said, Chelsea, I just got to ask you this question. Why is it that a lot of black women wearing wigs all the time? And girl, by the time I finished this, by the time I finished telling her all the things that black women have to do to wear their natural hair, honey, she said, "But girl, I'll be wearing a wig too." Okay, and it's very another thing when you're trying to care for your natural hair, it is very expensive. Especially, a lot of times nowadays you can buy little cheap, little flimsy wigs. You can even buy your wig off of Amazon, honey. You can go to the beauty supply store, get your little cheap wig, and be looking half cute. Okay. And so, yeah, and that's a lot cheaper than possibly going to pay someone. So sometimes women that are on a budget, or women, and I've also found out a lot of people who suffer from alopecia, they do not want to be going into a salon, especially a regular salon. That's why we offer alopecia-friendly salon. There are a lot of people when they go to the salons, and if they have alopecia, a lot of people are staring all up in their face, and some people just ignorant. The next time, if you see somebody that got this is alopecia awareness week with the weed doctor, one of her discussions for this week, I don't know how often we're going to have the alopecia awareness. Do not be walking up in the hair salon asking the people how did they get alopecia. None of your business. You are not their dermatologist, okay? Mind your business, okay? Just mind your business. And that's probably what Chris Rock wish he probably would have done. Now, I would say, even though he got the boo-boo smacked up out of him, I would say that Chris Rock, his career has catapulted because we weren't even checking for Chris Rock. Like 1 or 2 years ago, a lot of black people weren't even really checking for him at all, okay? Because number one, he really did not appear to us. He was sitting over there acting like Uncle Tom at the award show, at the Oscars award show, sitting over there talking about laughing at why black people ain't invited to the Oscars. Okay, just like you're not being invited to somebody's Rihanna's panties or whatever he said with his little nasty self. Okay, so this is just I think that he probably, I don't know if he regrets it or not. I know he's made a lot of money since doing that. And that's another thing. If there's no such thing or good or bad publicity, bad publicity even is good publicity. Okay, no such thing as bad publicity. So I don't know I don't know if he got what he wanted out of this situation. I know he looked like a punk in front of the world. But I guess Will Smith had to do what he had to do. He had to protect this woman. And again, I said these were not no regular thinning alopecia. This woman has a cranial scar. So she's had some type of procedure in her scalp that looks like maybe she possibly had a tumor, a cyst, or maybe she had to get something looked into on a very serious note. So maybe I see why he smacked the boo-boo up out of him. Okay. Now, child, let me look back with these notes. But anyways, we were just discussing how alopecia can affect your overall mood, self-esteem, make you have anxiety. That's why a lot of people opt for wearing wigs. Okay. A lot of people, child, that's why I love doing what I do. Wearing these alopecia units, honey, you can transform into a whole nother being, okay? You can get you a complete hairline from ear to ear. You can pull your hair up in a ponytail. And you guys, if you want to chime in or say anything, make sure you can write anything in the comment section. But, they have a lot of different units out there. You can part them from ear to ear. Nowadays, you can even color the units. Before, back in the day, you just had your old raggedy doo-doo brown looking wig. Okay, honey. Nowadays, you can get platinum. You can get a silver wig. Okay, child, you be just like Oprah. You get a wig. You get a wig. You get a wig. Okay. So, honey, let me look back on some of my notes. So that's something to look into. And again, I never know. And SUKHIANNA is a very young woman. However, it just shows you that because of the the different type of bad hairstyles that we have out now, honey, child, people are getting alopecia I'm talking like my DC people. They say alopecia out here. People are getting alopecia at the age of 5 and 6 and 7 years old. I have seen a lot of videos where nowadays young girls, they are getting very excessively tight cornrows, honey. They are getting these, and that's something to look into. It's nice to and some of these styles, just like we're talking about wigs, some of these styles are very what they call quote unquote protective styles, or I call it lazy styles, but you don't have to do nothing to your head. Okay, you could be looking cute for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, so these are just some of the different things when you're trying to wear these different why people sometimes opt to getting some of these more tight, very tight hairstyles on the scalp. Okay, because the number one, they're trying to have a long lasting effect. So some parents are opting to getting these same styles for their children. And then some of you people just trying to look cute and be on social media, okay? Trying to have your kid with some long braids all the way down to their back, to their buttocks, okay, down to their booty. Okay, them kids don't need no locks, they don't need no cornrows that daggone long. And a lot of kids, they end up swimming. It's just excess weight on the head. Child, please don't try to make your kid look like a mermaid Barbie, okay? It's just not going to be given. When them edges start falling out, okay? Y'all not going to, they start getting joned on and talked about at school. Have people like Chris Rock pricking on you, okay? So these are just some things to consider, when you're getting your hair done, when you're getting your children's hair done. A lot of times we want to be practical. However, when we're wearing these different styles, number one, wig styles, these styles are pretty expensive and costly, and they must be maintained on a regular, especially if you are looking to regrow your hair back. All right. Now we're going to go back down on the list, asking people, do they have wigs? So that's another thing. And some of y'all may need to send this video to some nosy people on your job. No, some of your nosy friends. I think actually some of men should stay out of people's hair and women's issues, especially if it's not necessarily your husband. Even if it's your husband, he may need to mind his business sometimes. I'm just saying. Okay. So with all that being said, it's a lot of people there asking, and I don't know why a lot of people want to talk about people's wigs nowadays on social media, looking at their lace, trying to grit into their lace to see if you can see the lace. It's just getting ridiculous. Especially if that individual is dealing with some type of financial problem where they can't get their hair done that often, or if they're dealing with alopecia, okay, and they have to now wear a wig permanently so that, they're not out here looking all, getting joned on, just like how Chris Rock, and one thing I can say about Jada Pinkett, even though she's done a lot of things in the media, okay, being letting her whole family pretty much monetizing off of her family's pain, okay, which I don't necessarily agree with, but she has been a alopecian advocate, and she goes out there, she wears her bald alopecia head shaved down, and some of you guys said, look, she wasn't that bald, why she had to shave her head down? I'm trying to tell you, something ain't going on in that kitchen, okay? It's something in that refrigerator that she is not letting us see. It's something going on over there, honey, okay? Because I've seen other pictures. She does have enough hair. She probably does not have to shave off her complete head. But again, I think when you having these different health conditions, sometimes you got to do stuff differently. Just like people that have cancer, different things like that, they tell them to chop their head off. Okay, chop all their hair off after a certain point if it gets bad enough. All right. So back on topic. These are just some things that you might, and you probably can send this video to some of your nosy people. Stop asking people what type of wig they have. And if you do want to know what they have, it's best to maybe pull them to a side, or maybe even don't even ask if it's a wig or weave. Just ask them who does their hair. Okay. And and some people ask me that, what does such and such have on? What does this person? Child, the wig doctor not gonna be giving up nothing. Okay. The wig doctor not gonna be giving up nothing, because at the end of the day, that is their personal business, and it should stay in their business, okay? It's not for the whole world to know, okay? Child, let the weed doctor look back at her notes, because sometimes I'm just making sure that I am staying on topic. I'm trying to see how long that I can go with doing some of these different types of lives, okay? So yeah, we were talking about men referring to women's hair, starting to police women's looking. I'm just tired of it. Some of these men, and a lot of these men nowadays, they are getting more and more feminine. especially the younger men in our generation. They don't want to take care of the ladies like they used to back in the day. They don't want. Now they going on social media now talking about how they gonna go half on all the dates. Okay, going they want to go half on all the bills. I'm like, well, goodness gracious, she might as well go around and get her a daggone what they call it, child, get her a roommate. Okay. So now all of it, especially in the, they're calling it now the manosphere. That's what it's called, you guys. For all you guys who don't know, the manosphere. With the men, they go on there and they start to vent about all the things they hate about women, and especially it's these black men, the black men out there. I should say these black. They just get on my nerves because a lot of time it's them that's talking about women and their weaves and wigs and all these things, and a lot of. Now I can understand for some reasons, some people may not want to look over the top. But if that woman is dealing with economical problems, if she's working, she got 3 kids, okay, she gonna have a wig on, okay, or get her some braids. She's not gonna be able to go to the weave doctor or go to whoever the cosmetologist every week, okay. So she's gonna have to have a wig on. And for those who are dealing with alopecia, they're gonna have to have a wig on as well, okay. So some of y'all men just better get over it, okay. And now, maybe if you feeling that bad, maybe you need to buy her a more expensive wig. Stop trying to buy her them little Amazon wigs. And them wigs from the beauty supply store only costing $35, okay? If you want your wife or your girlfriend to look better, invest in her look, okay? Help her to look better, okay? Because, again, some of these things are not, a lot of times people are wearing hairstyles not just because it looks good, but they're trying to be practical, too. It's out of practicality, okay? Child, they got to wake, bake, and shake. They got 5 kids, and the kids is getting on their nerves. and they got a pit bull. The pit bull probably ate up the wig too. Okay. All right. So next things next. We already talked about that part. African American women, for those who are just joining in, for all those who do not know, African American women are more prone to alopecia and will be. Okay. Because our hair, a lot of women hair, unless you is mixed heritage, okay. Child, the wig got some Indian in her family, so thank God my hair is not necessarily high maintenance to deal with, but I still do deal with tangles, so my hair can get very tangly. Now, again, this ain't my hair. This is a Peruvian custom unit that the wig doctor created, but my naturally hair is curly wavy. Okay, so that hair is not going to be that hard to deal with. However, there still is maintenance involved, especially so any type of curly hair. And so the more coarse that curl pattern gets, I believe actually the more attention that it requires. And as a hairdresser, a lot of women I've seen, more than approximately, I would say probably about 90 to 95% of women that come into the salon. It's not a lot of women that have quote unquote, and that's another thing. This big neck bammer, Chris Rock, he made that daggone movie, Good Hair, Bad Hair. Okay. I don't know why he claimed it was about his kids. To me, it was embarrassing to the black community. At first, I thought it was good, but then I found out, number one, he does not date any African American women. His target audience is not talking to African Americans. So, why are you telling all the black women's secrets? Now it became, he pretty much, I guess he started to mimic and make people laugh at women wearing wigs. They pretty much telling all the women's secrets with these wigs and stuff like that. I don't know if I necessarily like it. I don't know if he has if he has a hair company or something like that. But to me, it's just like, you don't hardly like us, Chris Rock. And now, 10 or 15 years later, he up here talking about Jada Pinkett and she got alopecia. Okay. We had enough of you with this good hair, bad hair. But anyways, with all that being said, with that good hair, bad hair thing, it's probably, as a hairstylist, it's probably about a good 80 to 90% of women who have quote unquote African non-mixed heritage hair. So their hair is very coarse. It is dry. And our hair is very unique. It's not like other hair cultures. Okay? That's why some of us are trying to go to these some of these other hair salons. Like a lot of us was trying to go to the Dominican salon. Child, and some of us hair is falling out on the ground. Okay. I just actually received a call earlier, not too long ago where individuals talking about she received chemical burns by going to these Dominican salon, and now she cannot grow hair back. Okay, or either it is very greatly reduced, so she's dealt with some type of chemical or traction alopecia. So it's just crazy. A lot of times we're trying to pick up on these trends. Like I remember they had that. What was that thing called? What was that formaldehyde? The keratin treatment. Okay. And a lot of people got that. A lot of African Americans started to get that. I even had got a quote unquote, it fully wasn't a formaldehyde, but it probably was a derivative of some sort like that. So I had got a formaldehyde treatment or a derivative formaldehyde treatment or some type of keratin treatment. And honey, I don't even think I could tell the difference. Number one, my ends was dead. Some of us don't like to cut their split ends. Okay. So anyways, I mean, it had a little bit of shine. But to be honest, I really got more out of using this product. Now, I end up making my own, but there's a company called Ite out there, and they had constructed their own natural hair relaxer. Okay. And so I don't know. I'm just making sure we don't get off on topic, but pretty much I'm just saying I'm just letting you guys see, how expensive and how much maintenance is required for caring for African American women's hair. And that's why some of us resort to going to cheaper places to get our hair done, and also trying to get these braids and leaving these wigs in for too long. And then wonder why you got alopecia. Okay. And then you're going to be having Chris Rock sitting up there cracking up on you. Okay. Cracking up on you online. Okay. Now let's make sure that the weed doctor is staying on topic. Making sure that we're staying on topic, and you guys can make sure to comment and give me different more suggestions that you want to talk about in the future. All right, and so, anyways, with this individual, Chris Rock. Now we've already talked about SUKHIANNA. I didn't even realize that she suffered from alopecia, and pretty much she was talking about how bad we were talking about earlier, the emotions that are behind alopecia. And child, SUKHIANNA said she lucky Will Smith just smacked him or punched him. Okay, she said because it's the type of men that she deal with. You talking about she bald head, child? You better hope you don't get shot in your back. Okay, that's what SUKHIANNA said. Okay, now SUKHIANNA, she's from a different generation and she's a little rough around the edges. Okay, but child, SUKHIANNA, I mean, I guess she's just telling her opinion. Okay. And some men, they would have shot, they should have shot Chris Rock, especially she was humiliated on a international platform. Now, some of you guys may say Chris Rock was humiliated too. But here's someone decided to talk about this woman's looks. And for some reason, some of these I call them pick-me Negroes, they go around picking on their own people, okay, picking on their own blood. They're not talking about Asian community jokes like that. Make sure who calling the weed doctor. Child, they don't want that. A lot of them, they're not talking about necessarily Hispanic, Latino women. Not necessarily, not to the degree that black women get talked about their hair. Like they're making these documentaries on what black people hair is doing. And even I remember even in his documentary, you said, why come only don't know ain't black hair is good hair, So it pretty much was, to me, it was almost like an exploitation. Like he's sitting there and exploiting the black woman and her secrets, exploiting the women on her weaves and letting people know the secrets, in the industry. Sometimes, before in the 90s and early 2000s, I think it was still somewhat of a mystery. Not everybody just knew what the black woman had going on. Now, after he wrote that wrote that daggone movie, now everybody know what the black woman wearing these daggone wigs. I wouldn't say that he was the cause of everything, but he daggone sure helped to, begin this type of, this type of culture of exposing black women in their hair. And another thing about Chris Rock, I don't see him, I just don't like that he decided to do that. He knows that in the African American community that the woman's hair is her pride and glory. Also, a couple of months prior to this, what is her name? Jada Pinkett, and her platform is huge. And a lot of those celebrities, they are all within the same network, okay? And they all talk with one another, especially ones as popular as them, especially that's getting invited to the Oscars. Child, some of these hand-picked Negroes from the cotton field, okay? So, so they all know each other's problems and gossips and things like that. Jada Pinkett, she was talking about, a couple of months or weeks before this came out, how she was dealing and battling with alopecia and the effect that it had on her self-esteem. And then this jerk, okay, is going to go online and decide to bring up that she has alopecia in front of the world, okay, with his crest of the crown looking behind, okay. And I'm not going to spend too much time on him. I'm just going to talk about a little bit, and some people, they got the nerve. I'm just going to talk about a little bit about Chris Rock and some of the things that they said about him. It's sad that sometimes the ugliest men, especially quote unquote, now I actually think that being a dark skinned man is a very attractive thing. However, I find it out more and more that a lot of people that were very excessively dark growing up, they had some major complications with accepting themselves, and so he said that he was picked on and bullied all through his entire life, okay. And you can see he's not the cutest, okay. His brother's pretty handsome. He has that tall brother that said he want Will Smith to smack him. Child, you don't want Will Smith you just trying to get some clout. You just mad because don't nobody want to smack you, okay. So he had been picked on from a very, very long time. And of course, he's from New York. So, he had a very rough childhood. I don't know if a lot of black women joned on him or talked about him bad. But, and it's sad that sometimes people, they're unhappy. So they want you to be unhappy with them as well. And, I actually just looked at him. I watched his stand-up. To me, it was not that funny. It's very dry. To me, Will Smith was the highlight of his career within the last 5 to 10 years. Nobody was even checking for him. Okay. And, that lineup was dry. Even when he did his Netflix special, it was dry, honey. It was getting dry. He was talking about how all the women of all the different other nationalities have left him. The black women don't like him. Don't nobody want him. Okay. He done been married 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay. He done tried every color crown in the book, and it still has not worked out for him. Okay. So, and again, you don't see him talking about those women and their alopecia. Now, and some people may say, well, oh, Weave Doctor, you seem like you are mad at him. Yes, I am. Because I have had family members who have suffered from alopecia from medical reasons due to cancer, different type of illnesses that are medically induced alopecia. And it was not like these individuals, now some were from traction alopecia too. It was not that these individuals were not taking care of themselves. It was not that they became lazy. It was not because they were on my 500 or 600 pound life. They was eating themselves into a coma. No, these were healthy individuals that were trying to remain and, be healthy, get their, their doctor's visits on a regular, honey. Okay. And then out of nowhere, they develop alopecia from a medical condition, or they have to shave all of their hair off. So, it is very traumatic. And so for someone to get online and sit up there and laugh at them, the Weave Doctor just cannot stand them. Okay? I cannot stand him. And and I'm going to spend probably another 3 minutes roasting this big neck Bama. And then I'm going to get off of Crunchy Black. Okay? Because, if you guys really want to be honest, this guy, to me, he kind of reminds me of that man. He kind of reminds me of Pookie and Smokey on the PJ Projects episode. Okay. For him to be talking about somebody looks. Now, Jada Pinkett is a very attractive female. This man, here's this same guy. He never hardly been a catch all throughout his life. He didn't have no money. Nobody wouldn't even want him. Okay. Especially, because he's not that handsome. I really don't like to even talk about people in aesthetics, but not even from an aesthetic point of view. His skin looks very dry. Not even from a because we can't necessarily change our God-given features. Some are just more popularized than others. Like I've heard that some people have Eurocentric features or more narrow features. Like I've had some people tell me that, and I didn't even know what they were talking about until later on in life. But there are some people they have, and he doesn't have a very broad features, but I think, and just in general, maybe he's not quote unquote as aesthetically pleasing. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm calling him crunchy black because he looks like, number one, that he's dehydrated. The weed doctor and some other people, child, Jada, I know all them holistic practitioners. She knows y'all need to get that man some water. Okay, number one, he is looking dry on there. His face looking dry. I wish I would have pulled up his picture, but child, the weed doctor's going to be prepared for her next shows. And he kind of gives crack jaw. Okay. Child, the weed doctor just being honest. Okay. He looks like that, that whatever that he's dealing with, this is taking over to a certain degree. His skin does not look very clean. A lot of times blackness are not supposed to crack. So, it's not like just like a dark skin. It's just like his skin is just not like, I guess from a more lymphatic point, it just looks very congested, because the weed doctor has a very dark complected mother, but her skin does not look nowhere as, like a dark, like it's unhealthy skin. It looks kind of patchy. Chad, you need to go to a dermatologist. You need to get your face done. Okay, sitting up there talking about my girl, Jada Pinkett. Okay. You need to get you several facials. The weed doctor tried out a facial the other day. I had got me a hydrofacial. She was trying to ask me what's the other thing? Microdermabrasion. Now that's good for those who have hyperpigmentation. I don't necessarily have that problem. But, he looked like he got something going on, honey. Their skin is dried up. It's just looking burnt. Okay. Of course, I'm not even going to talk about his past divorces. Okay. It is what it is. Jada Pinkett still got her husband, even though they got a different type of arrangement going on. But at least it seemed like they happy and dealing with one another. Okay. Also, he kind of looks, again, when that skin is that dry, sometimes it's like from habitual, maybe drug use or diabetes. Child, he's just a hot picking mess. So this is my advice for Chris Rock. Stop worrying about what women have. You have enough problems of your own. And his eyes were yellow. Okay. That's another thing that we learned in holistic health. Your eyes, that has a lot to do. You could maybe have hepatitis, have some type of liver congestion, maybe heavy drinker, heavy alcoholic. I know some heavy drinkers and their eyes was not even yellow. Okay. So, some of you guys are just too worried about other people's business. Just focus on yourself, especially when you start to talk about people's medical conditions and health shaming people. That's her biggest pet peeve, is to health shame people. Okay. All right, but we got off of that topic. Ooh, with his little dried up looking self, looking like a burnt up eraser. Okay. He need to go into get some moisture baths. We're gonna there was a show that I watched, and she is a professional roast. What's her name? Kaya. Child, we are going to summons him and report him to the nearest sauna. Okay, child, matter of fact, no, he ain't gonna get no sauna. He gonna do like a burnt up raisin after that sauna. We're gonna get him to some hydrational therapies, electrolytes. They nowadays, child, if you're looking dried and shriveled up, honey, they got some IV sessions. Honey, go to the electrolyte IV session. Baby, he going to need some vitamin C. I also, because I'm a holistic practitioner, I am going to prescribe him to get some glutathione. Glutathione can help to brighten up your, what's it called? Your complexion. Okay? It might not get you like Michael Jackson, baby. Okay? They got some stuff out there, but honey, I wouldn't chance it. Being light ain't worth your health, baby. Don't be trying to look too bright. You mess around, then develop some type of funny skin cancer or something like that. Okay. So, child, we're gonna, what else are we gonna prescribe him? We're gonna prescribe for him a vegan. We're gonna prescribe for him for some rehab, because them eyes looking yellow, look like he be drinking a heavy drinker. Okay. Just looks a mess. Okay. So that's what you need to worry about, baby. You need to worry about getting your nutrition in line. You got enough money, okay? You got enough money. You can go to. They got the top aesthetic and dermatologists out there. Okay, honey. You can be focused on that instead of worried about somebody's alopecia. All right. All right. So that's enough of him with his little self. Okay. Now, anyways, we're gonna give some different type of suggestions. After I know we finished and roasting him, I wanted to roast him some more, but the weed doctor don't got time for toxicity today. Okay. So, anyways, we're gonna talk about these are just some of the different now sometimes with medically induced alopecia, you have to wait till the trauma is over. I do know with cancer, with that form of alopecia, I'm about to start carrying a device. So it's going to be a cold therapy device. And it's great for those, I believe, that is dealing with radiation. Because a lot of people, when they're dealing with that, it's just burning them up. Child, you're going to be making them look just like Chris Rock face. Okay. So, it's really harsh on the skin and the body and even on the hair follicle. So they have these new cool caps. It can prevent people that are dealing with cancer sometimes they're saying that they're getting a reduction of maybe 40 to 60% of a hair loss reduction. Okay, child, that's amazing. Okay, so amazing, so amazing. That's one of the things that you can do. So this cold cap therapy, look into it. Now, some of this stuff is crazy. I don't know. They got different brands out there, honey. Some of them you can rent these machines. Some of them you can just buy them outright. Some of them, honey, and it's something. Some of them, they are putting ice packs. What's that freezer? What's that type of ice? What is it called? It looks like it produces carbon dioxide. I can't think of it right. Dry ice. Okay, they're putting dry ice on top of some of these helmets. They're called cold packs. They're putting it on the hair, and it's cooling the hair down. I think they even wear them slightly prior to the radiation treatment. And then they wear them a little bit, I guess, throughout the day. I forgot how many hours, but the weed doctor is going to start on my new site. I'm going to offer the cold therapy laser so that people that are dealing with alopecia, that are dealing with cancer treatments, they do not have to lose as much hair. So we're going to be offering that. Another thing with medically induced alopecia, and that's one thing I would say, if you're dealing with medically induced alopecia, you probably want to look into getting, some type of detoxification and rebuilding up your system. I hear that a lot of that radiation and things like that, and some of the different medicines that they give individuals, it is extremely harsh on the body. Okay, child, and the mind and the hair. Okay, it just has a triple effect on everything. Okay, so that's one thing I would say. Make sure, possibly find you a holistic nutrition practitioner, such as myself, or someone who can help to recover your body, or someone. There are different people out there too who help people cope with. That's not necessarily my specialty, but there are some people who have a special. Their practice is geared towards rebuilding up people who suffer from cancer. They have a lot of nutritionists out there. Now, baby, you are probably going to pay. Okay, don't be coming up in there trying to be cheap or use your insurance, baby. You're going to have to pay out of pocket to get these type of luxury high-end services. Okay, so they have those things out there. Also, I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I know some people say that juicing can be really good. There's a lot of different supplements out there that supposedly can be good with dealing with having to battle, cancer. And even if you're dealing with inflammation, any type of inflammatory condition, okay? So these are just some things to look into. A lot of hair loss, that is a key indicator that in a lot of cases something is happening on the inside. So you're gonna have to fix some of these things. And not everything is going to be fixed by taking a pill, okay? I try to tell my clients, especially those who join our holistic practitioner or our trichology programs, not everything is going to be cured through a pill. Baby, you're going to have to get up, Chad, you're gonna have to drop them fried chicken wings out your hand. Okay, you're gonna have to get you some nice salads. Probably even start juicing. In some cases, live a lower caloric diet. Stop eating highly processed foods. Stop eating sugar that's feeding a lot of these cysts, tumors, diabetes, adding more hardening of the arteries, cholesterol building up just from eating the wrong types of food, causing a lot of swelling and edema within the body. That's another sign of lack of potassium. So it's just so many different things that are going on. And another thing before alopecia, a lot of people don't realize there are only but so many causes of alopecia. Either it can be from hormonal or from inflammatory in most cases. Now, again, we talked about the medical induced alopecia and stress and autoimmune induced alopecia. But a lot of those, they still are causing inflammation to the scalp. And so you want to try to overcome some of these things by eating a more healthy diet, getting the supplementation in there. It really can make a very huge difference. Now, last but least, we want to talk about the scar tissue. For this time, we got a couple more things to talk about. But with the scar tissue that comes from different type of scarring alopecia. Now, this form of alopecia can be very, very hard to overcome from. Okay. It's going to, they have different techniques, and I offer some of them at my hair loss clinic. If you're trying to overcome scarring from your alopecia, you may want to look into some micro needling services, which the Weed Doctor offers. We're offering some growth factors. It has a lot of different peptides and also different, what else do they call them? Stem cells from plants. So holistic plant stem cells that we infuse into the actual hair follicle. It goes beneath the dermis of the skin. So it's not like you're just applying olive oil and cocoa butter to your scalp. That's what a lot of you guys keep doing. And you wonder why you're not getting the results, okay? You keep applying that cocoa butter and it just ain't working for you, okay? So these are just some of the different things. Also, there are other different type of, what they call it, Eastern type of Ayurvedic, different type of practices that are known to help to reduce scarring of any type of skin scarring. So that could be all over the body or it can be within the scalp. All right, guys. So you guys make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. We hope that you enjoyed this. The Weave Doctor is moving forward with her platform. I was very, very, very encouraged. The other guys, you guys showed me so much love on Facebook that you allowed one of my views, and I wasn't even checking for this video like that. I didn't even really think it was that much of anything. But honey, I had received over 500,000 views from there. And so I said, maybe, child, maybe the Lord got something for the Weed Doctor, okay? Child, maybe the good Lord want me to go on here and spread the gospel of hairology, okay? And gossip, okay? And I wouldn't even say necessarily gossip, but, hair discussions, we're talking about current events, things that people want to hear about for the last couple of months. I have been looking into offering current events and with hair because I'm seeing at the end of the day, as many hair things that I write about, the most funny ones and the ones that I get the most views on generally have to do with me entertaining you guys. I don't know. Maybe you guys are just bored. I don't know if the pandemic did it. Some of you guys are bored and tired, probably tired looking at your husbands, tired of looking at your kids. Okay? I'm tired of looking at your edges because you need to get your hair done. Okay? Come on down to the Weed Doctor. All right. I don't know what it is, but you guys love to be entertained. So we're going to give the people, the people have spoken. The Weed Doctor going to give the people what the people want. Okay? I'm not going to be trying to do all these long, informative, educational programs if that's not what you guys want. I'm saying also that the what is it called? The average person's I guess the amount of time that they can sit and listen to something, I guess like their brain is not able to sit past a certain time. People start getting idle, thinking about frying chicken, thinking about running their errands. Okay, child, our minds are sometimes our attention span is a little bit shortened. Okay, especially during this social media type of era. Everything is pop, pop, pop like popcorn. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys what you want. And I have been, a lot of you guys probably have been seeing me posting more of my different type of reels. I don't know how many I'm going to do a week. I'm thinking maybe 2 to 3 days where I'm doing new reels and stuff, because you guys are just eating them reels up, honey. Child, y'all making the Reel Doctor feel important. Okay. I've been important, but child, y'all really making me feel important. Y'all making me feel like I'm going to be a viral sensation. Okay. And I owe it all to you and God. Okay. I owe it all to you, honey. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, honey. The Weed Doctor has got to go. It's been a fabulous time and a fabulous show. I am going to now put below how to reach the Weed Doctor. Okay. You know, there are some people, and now some of the reels that we're doing, the Weed Doctor does not cap. Some of the reels, those are our works. Some of them are works from other stylists. And I guess, child, it's kind of like a pro, you know, they helping me out and I'm helping them, baby. I done got that sister over 500,000 views. I'm wondering if our daggone line gonna be blowing up. Okay. Child, I got myself 500,000 views by helping another black sister in the time. You know, by helping the black sister in the time being. Okay. Also, we're going to now write down. So I'm going to try to start doing this more often. We're still going to find out how many times I'm going to go ahead and, you know, be all professional with it. So this is just how you go on the Main Attractions Hair website, because a lot of people, they really want to come to Main Attractions Hair for the wigs and weaves. And then for those who want to buy our products and online wigs, especially if you do not live in the area, then you need to go to PureVirginMain.com. All right, honey, those and gents, the Weed Doctor has got to go. It's been a fabulous time and a fabulous show. See you later. Bye now.